I've read your papers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why is it that all too often when parents die and leave children, those children end up fighting with each other over money? It's an old story. I think after reading your complaint and answer that I'm having second thoughts about my own children. What I think I'm going to do is spend it all while I'm here so that my children won't have anything to fight about. Right now I have a case. You're suing your sister for $5,000. You say that your mother died.
Yes, Your Honor.
And your father was killed in an accident. Well, there was a wrongful death action.
Wrongful death lawsuit.
And that was settled for, you say, $197,000.
Yes.
Your sister got all that money. She got all of your mother's property. And
yes.
according to you, and this is, I think, a quote from your complaint,
yes,
you didn't
Your
even
Honor.
get a bobby pin.
No, not a bobby pin.
And so you want something from your mother. In this case, you want $5,000 from your sister, who you
Yes,
say
Your
got
Honor.
everything.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, did your mother leave a will?
She was too sick and too ill to leave a will. I take care of my mother for 14 years of my life. My mother was totally blind. I was her eyesight, I was her everything. I devoted my entire life to her.
And then, but you left.
No, I didn't leave. My sister moved in her home after I had moved out.
Well,
and
why
I
did you move
continue
out?
on to take care of my mother.
Why did you move out if you were living with your
Because
mother
I
for
found
14
my own
years?
place at that time.
Your Honor, that's not true.
Well, I'm going to get to you in a second. You were living with your mother for 14 years.
Yes.
And then you moved out.
Because she moved in and we could not get along. We haven't been able to get along all of our lives. This is something has not just started. You know, you've heard me for many of years, ever since we were children. And it's got to stop somewhere.
So you moved.
It's going to have to end.
Listen, I hope it can end here. You moved out. Your sister moved in.
Yes.
How long did your mother live after you moved in?
My father passed away in 1990, and my sister moved in for about a year. And when she moved in, she didn't assist in paying any bills. My mother's house was up for foreclosure.
That's not true.
And because of her not paying the bills and my mother was not able to, then I gave up my place and I moved in.
Who asked you to?
My mom. Because her house was in foreclosure. She was not doing anything to try to save the house.
So you moved in?
Yes.
She did not pay the bills, Your Honor. My mother was well paying her own bills. My mother had...
How could she pay her own bills if she couldn't see?
Because I was paying it out of her Social Security until my sister moved in and taken all of her Social Security checks, endorsed them, cashed them, placed them into her own account, and used them for her own pleasures, went on vacations,
Well, somebody
went
had
on
it.
tours,
Somebody
trips,
had it.
everything. The house
social.
foreclosed.
Listen, nobody gets rich on Social Security.
Thank
She
you.
let the house foreclose. She didn't pay a dime.
Your Honor, I've been working on my job. I've been on my job for 16 years.
What property, then, are you suing your sister for?
Her property that my dad bought my mother
What?
retirement home in Mobile, Alabama, the state of Mobile, Alabama.
Okay. What happened with that home?
It was heir property. She sold it. It was never to be sold. She sold it and taken every
Well, whose
cent.
name was it in?
My parents' name.
Well, there must have been, listen to me, there must have been a will. There must have
was
been
no
some
will.
document that permitted her to
There
sell it.
was no will. There were no will.
How did you come to sell that house?
I have power of attorney
That was
where
rigged
I
up.
am
She rigged
to
this
make
paper
any
up.
decisions for my mother. This power of attorney, my mother signed it, and it was notarized
Let me take a look
in
at it.
her
It didn't
home.
go to court, and neither did my mother agree on it. My mother was totally blind, and she did not agree on this power of attorney. You had that rigged up, and you signed for her.
Well, I have two witnesses here. And this was October 28th, 1994.
I have no
And it's
knowledge
a
of
notarized,
that.
and it's a notarized statement, but I'd like you to see it. How much money was realized from the property?
$52,000.